Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Gilbert is back, and I was rewatching the Fantastic Four First Steps because I had just watched Fantastic Four First Steps Feels Empty Inside by Godzilla Mendoza, and I really like his channel, so I'm going to link it in the description below if you like superhero stuff, just all around great. I think his reviews are great and stuff. Great and everything, and I love listening to him. It's how I learned about some of the comics that I've talked about well, not that I've talked about. It's really what got me into actually reading the comics. Because before I read comics, I just mainly read summaries and reviews and went, oh, that's cool. And maybe read one or two online. But I rewatched the movie and I went, it was good. I liked it. This is not a review of the movie, by the way. I would do that scripted, but it's more of a question. Do you think Fantastic Four can functionally work as a movie? My opinion is not really, and I don't have the evidence to back me up. It's all at my partner's house because I wanted them to get fixed on the Fantastic Four like I am, so I gave them all of my Fantastic Four comics. But the whole point of the Fantastic Four is that it is a family drama first, at least the way I view it. It is a family drama first, and a superhero project second. The superheroes and the superheroism and their crazy adventures, that is just the vehicle in which they can do the family drama stuff. And sometimes it's more focused on the sci-fi, but for the most part, it's just them as a family and their entire family. And so when things are talking about, and I understand, I'm like, yeah, some of these characters just didn't feel like they were super present in the movie or had a really big role in the movie, and I agree. And I think that's could be fixed by my proposition is I don't think it works as a movie. I think it would work really well as a TV show, though, because you could do it serialized. You do one episode or two episodes about one specific adventure, one little adventure that the family goes on, or maybe two or three members of the family, different dynamics, just like the comics do a lot of times. And then the next episode, or the next two or three episodes, is about something else. And maybe Johnny, the Human Torch, doesn't get a lot of action in episode 1, season 1. But in episode 2, that one's about him, And it solves that problem of some of them feeling left out sometimes, and you don't have to rush anything to introduce people because you could drop hints earlier, introduce someone now, and then don't have to really do anything with him for 5 more episodes. Or maybe you do 10 episode series about just this one thing, and then you go back to serialized issues. I think Fantastic Four would work really well in a serialized format, where they don't have to worry about scripts, you have to worry about scripts, where you don't have to worry about the full project. Like Galactus was a one comic issue. It happened in one comic. I own a reprint of that first issue where Galactus tries to destroy the Earth and eat it. It was one of the first Fantastic Four comics I ever bought, because I went, wow, that's a reprint, I'm trying to get into that, so I'll buy it. And I think they did it fairly well in the movie, but it's not as out there, right? It's not as crazy, if you will. And while I don't think the Fantastic Four has to be out there and crazy, I think if you give it a serialized show where they just get to do whatever, like there's a comic that I have where they shrink to the size of quarks and go into hollowed out quarks, and this alien race that can go into hollowed out quarks and launch themselves through space super fast. And they use it as a spaceship, but you just can't aim it. And they do that and they shrink down to that. That doesn't work in a Marvel movie. In a Marvel movie within the MCU, that doesn't functionally work, because they have this whole big universe that everything has to fit inside nicely and be a part of. Well, I mean, in a serialized TV show, that could just be the norm. It's just another day in their crazy lives, There's an issue where they did some... I don't want to spoil it, but it's part of the 2022 run, I'm pretty sure. I love that run, because it's the one that leads right into One World Under Doom. Pretty sure it's 2022, maybe it's 2024 if I'm stupid. But they did something with the Baxter building, blah, blah, blah. Don't want to spoil it. But Doctor Doom comes in and the whole issue is him going back in time, trying to prevent that from ever happening, trying to fix that so that way that didn't have to happen, and he's trying to fix it to one-up them, and he can't, and that's the whole issue. And sometimes that's all it is, and it's a character work at Doom. It's a look at Doom as a character, but it's Fantastic Four comic. It doesn't have to be his own comic to do that because it's a serialized issue. It doesn't matter if Reed Richards doesn't get full time. It doesn't matter if each character in the Fantastic Four and related to the Fantastic Four gets a full character development in that one episode, in that one comic. They'll get it in the next, or they'll get it in 3 issues. And that's really good, and I think because the Fantastic Four has 4 people, and all 4 of their relationships, like Alicia Masters has to be related to them in a lot of episodes, and then Sue and her have to get along and have a relationship that they at least like each other, and then Susan and Richard and Johnny and Ben, because these things have to feel earned. It doesn't feel like they could just do that. Fan Four Stick in the 2000s, Johnny and Ben kind of never spoke to each other ever. I don't remember much. I watched it a little bit because I watched Rise of the Silver Surfer and the original one on DVD, and then I watched that one later when it came out. Fan Four Stick I watched later, yeah, and I don't remember them ever talking. Maybe like 1 or 3 lines of dialogue, but then they get to the end and he starts making fun of him. I'm like, yeah, that's comic accurate, I guess. But it just doesn't... Why are you doing that, man? And so I feel like it works way better if it's a TV show. But what do you think? Does Fantastic Four functionally work as a movie? Or would you rather it be in another medium? Because I want to see more of them. And I want to see more of them in the MCU. And we will, with Secret Wars and everything coming up. But they can do well in crossovers in movies. But as far as their media goes, I think it would work better in a TV show if Marvel made good TV shows most of the time. They've had a few bangers. I won't lie. They've had a few bangers. But after their, third flop, third just uninteresting one, I kind of stopped watching. I gotta catch up before Civil. I feel like I have to catch up before Secret Wars. But I've been watching them, every here and there because they just haven't done it. And Fantastic Four was such... Now I'm gonna glaze the movie real quick. It was so refreshing, where it felt like it was a movie that stood on its own, but it's still, leaned into the Marvel Universe. It was still part of the greater universe, while not being in it entirely. Like Captain America, Brave New World. I've got Spider-Man on the brain. I liked the movie. It was fine. It just didn't feel like a Sam Wilson Captain America movie. It felt like this is an MCU movie. We have to be in the MCU. We have to set up things in the MCU. Everything that has to do with this movie has to do with the wider world of the MCU. And remember this guy who was actually the leader, who was in the Incredible Hulk film that came out 20 years ago? Yeah, you have to remember him now, and it's in the MCU, and everything about this has to do with the wider world of the MCU. Oh my god, just give me something that is original. Like, the Iron Man movies didn't start because they were part of a greater universe. It was just a good film about Iron Man, and you were able to rope that in, and they were vaguely connected, and wait, that guy was also in the Thor movie, and now they're all together, and that's great. And the Fantastic Four felt like another one of those, and god, were we missing some of that. But I don't know. I really hope they get more content, because I like this movie. I think it's the best Fantastic Four movie we've gotten. At least out of the 3 that I've watched. 4 that I've watched. Because I haven't watched the original one. Because as a kid, I always thought that the Chris Evans Human Torch one, I thought that was the original. But yeah. Let me know what you think. That's about it for me. Wet Willie.